My dad like sat us both down at the sofa and was like, you need to watch this, this is important.
I want people to hear my voice.
Do you remember where you both were when you first were impacted by Amy Winehouse?
Yeah, I know exactly, because I went to the Ronnie Scott's Jazz Cafe one night to a talent show, like an up-and-coming Voices of Jazz night. And Amy was one of those as a young performer, and she came out. And, you know, there were performers and people, it was, you know, it's a lively environment, so people chat whilst people were playing. And Amy came out and she started to sing, and there was a hush. And I remember turning to a friend of mine and just being like, oh, she's special. And that sort of sense of her in that one moment of this tiny little young girl with such a powerful and unique voice. And that's the only time I saw her live. And of course now I feel so blessed that I had that experience.
No.
Yeah, I actually remember watching, I was very young, I must have been about 7 years old. There's a talk show in the UK called Jonathan Ross, and it was her first ever live TV performance. And my dad had recorded it at his house. And when my brother and I went over on a Friday, he like sat us both down at the sofa and was like, you need to watch this, this is important.
It's going to happen one of these days. Voice like yours, got to.
Sam, can you recall anything that you've learned in previous films that helped you direct this one?
The fact I'd made a million little pieces right before this gave me such a good insight into understanding addiction as a disease and sort of sitting without judgment in terms of making this film. And that was so important, but also in a sort of creative sense. You know, I made that movie in 20 days on a shoestring budget, and that really honed my skills in terms of shooting 56 locations in 45 days on this one. So sort of lessons, each movie before has sort of impacted on how I've made the next one and so forth. So I guess this being my fourth movie, yeah, there's plenty of experiences I've brought from the previous ones, but I would say A Million Little Pieces was so informative for me to make this one.
I need to live my songs. So that's what I'm gonna go and do.
Ready? Are there any artists today that you could have seen her like collaborating with?
Oh, so many.
So many.
Go on, you can answer this
I mean,
one.
she never did any collaborations on either of her albums. So it's difficult to say whether like that would have changed. I think, you know, as someone that was as influenced by hip hop as Amy, I think it would have been really interesting to see how she reacted to grime in London, because I mean she really encapsulated the like London scene at a certain point, which was Camden and the Libertines, and you know that was her London. But now when people think about London music, that's more synonymous with grime, I would say. So I think, you know, I don't know, Amy Winehouse and Stormzy would have been pretty mega.
Yeah, that's a good answer.